Welcome to the Ar-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first rifle or you've been building them for years. There's something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley. I am joined tonight by the director of propaganda himself. Joe, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good tonight.
Yes, indeed. Well, as we go through here and start to get into things, Joe, like you say, you're doing pretty good tonight. Anything fun this week since last we spoke on the interwebs?
No, I haven't done anything. I was busy all weekend doing house chores, getting everything cleaned up around the house, around the yard before it gets cold and snow hits the ground. Not that there's any forecast of it. I just don't want to get stuck behind the 8-ball because that can happen at any time out here. So
Any moment.
Yeah. No, I haven't. The closest I've come to doing anything is surfing around, maybe trying to look at parts and start planning some builds for this winter. Yeah, that's about it. I've done a whole lot.
I've done a little bit. I did some optics swapping this week. I taught a class last Saturday, just a concealed carry class, and did a little bit of shooting around that, and then shit. Sorry about that, everyone.
Bless you.
So as I felt it come and tried to mute, and then as soon as I unmuted, it went through here. But as I taught the class last week, and then we pushed through. I did a little bit of shooting at the range. I even went out in the afternoon, and I went out, did a little bit of concealed carry shooting, just training myself. And, my wife even got in on the game and actually decided to shoot her carry pistol, and went out and did some dot drills because those are kind of one of my favorites. And she did astonishingly better than she has in the past, and has actually picked up and is like, oh, hey, this practicing thing works. I'm like, yes, it does, honey. That's why I'm out here all the time. But did that. Then I did some optic swapping around. I finally took the Delta Point off of one of my handguns that just I never liked that optic. I don't know if it walked or what the deal was. It just wasn't for me. And I replaced it with a Gideon Optics Storm, and because that's their Delta Point Pro footprint. And I have yet to go out and actually put it through any paces. But when I throw the belt on and start drawing, it really, really is way faster than my Delta Point was. Like, I don't know if it's just the shape of the window or like the dot or like how it sits lower, what the deal is, but something about it, like my eye goes to the dot way faster than it did on the Delta.
Well, that's
and
good.
then I watched what was talking. He was in the Discord this week talking about 20 rounders, and only seen some crazy prices on it. So I hooked him up with 2 different links to, I think one was to the Mag Shack and the other one was to Gun Mag Warehouse. And each of those were for different 20 round setups. He does something that I think is kind of smart. He has PMags that he only uses for 300 blackout. That's the only thing he uses PMags for. So he knows if he grabs a PMag, it's 300 blackout. So he didn't really want to go to those in a 20 rounder to shoot his 5.56 through, which I understand. And I'm going to say that I told him the next brand I would go with after that would be those KCIs, the translucent KCIs in 20. I have been just throttling the hell out of those for like 3 years, and they have yet to fail me.
Yeah, they're a decent brand. We talked to them at GunCon. They got a lot of interesting stuff, but they've got good quality mags.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I have the ones that I brought back from Cleveland, which I haven't ran. I haven't ran on them or ran anything in them yet. But and not only their 223 mags, but their Glock mags, their extended Glock mags are good. Uh, they're just a solid company that's out there. I mean, they're not one of the big names. They're not all over the place, but they're making a quality product.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I've been running for my PCC gun is the KCI mags. I haven't picked up a Glock mag just to see if I was like, oh, hey, is this going to be better? And there was absolutely no difference between the two.
My only question would be if you could throw like the extensions on them, if they're compatible, or if you would have to just be stuck with the 30, which is, for most people, just fine.
Well, as it turns out, I have one here. And I bet that if I search on my desk here, I might even be able to find a gen of like Magpod or something like that. Yeah. So as I crinkle a bag here to open a magazine, Joe, is there anything else kind of that you've been looking at or thinking about before we start to get into our topic tonight?
No, well, kind of. I last night started putting together a calendar for us to see what matches we can make next year. I know a lot of the big matches haven't announced their dates yet, but you can usually guess pretty close based off of running the same weekends. So I know we've had some of our group chats trying to figure out what we want to do for that kind of stuff next year. And kind of got to be paying attention to that a little ways in advance so that you don't miss registrations and stuff like that. So that's a little side project I've taken on, but
fair enough. And that's handy. And we thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Cause everybody wants to go shoot, but nobody wants to ever commit to anything. It's like, well, I'm going to give you the dates and you guys go farm. We'll go shoot.
So that noise you heard was me failing to put a mag pod onto a KCI mag because they do fit on there, but there is a tab that you may have to do some removal of in order to get everything to fit. And possibly if you put a Magpul follower on the bottom of this, it might seat.
Once you start putting more, it becomes pointless then.
Yeah.
If you can't use the internals that were there, you might as well just use the other or the Magpul. But
if you're just looking for a straight 30 round mag,
what about I was more talking the Glock mag. What plate does that use?
The Glock mags, yes, 100% those do work.
Do they?
Yeah, I was thinking AR mags because, well, that's where my brain goes.
When most people talk about 30 round mags, that's what they're talking about. But
Royce asked if I've ever tried the Daniel Defense 32 round mags. I have not.
Mm-mm.
But no, also Dr. Scary Guy is commenting on something I saw pop up in my email that I posted in Discord. And my comment was, there it is, the dumbest thing I'll see all week. And it is, let me pull up the email here and see if I can show it. Because I have no problem calling this out and saying it is just flat stupid. Because Impact Guns is who sent this out. And they're advertising pre-ban Glocks now. Like, come get your pre-banned Glocks, brother. God bless.
Hey,
And
that's a little disingenuous of the advertising, because there was no ban. They just preemptively said we don't want to lose our business.
I am
Not to say
aware.
that, hey, we have the Gen 3s and 4s or whatever gens they're jumping away from. Like, sell it as that, not that they were ever banned. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't be able to sell them.
I know. Here you go. Since I had to see this, you guys do too. But yeah, we have some of the original Gen 4s and Gen 5s available. Get yours now. Pre-banned Glocks in stock. Impact Guns. Kindly stop it.
That's just clickbait. Seriously, they're using clickbait to sell guns now. But if you get idiots that don't know what's going, like people that don't follow what we have or what they're talking about, are like, oh no, they'll run and buy them, and then in 6 months, be like, what do you mean you can still buy these?
Yeah, so the Gen 1 Glocks, like, that's actually pretty cool. Gen 1 and Gen 2, before they screwed it up with finger grooves. And then, we went through, and that was actually some of the very first Glocks were called a P80. And that's useless history that somebody didn't need to know today. Because that's how things go inside my head. But, yeah, like you said, it's somebody was going to do it, and they just jumped on. But, yeah, that was pre-banned Glocks. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was just like, there it is. That's the dumbest thing I'll see all week.
I mean, I can see used at the used counter or the pawn shop where they're like, hey, these are the ones that you can still do this with. That I get. Sending out a flyer acting like they were like actually banned is just false advertising. But there's tons of companies that do that stupid stuff.
Oh, and we should shame them.
Mm-hmm.
We should shame them. No, so did my optic swapping. Still waiting for one more mount to come in that I'm going to do some swapping around, because I have really become a believer in the 2.26 optic height after doing some more practice with it, and throwing the one dot on and going out and getting that zeroed. Where I zeroed my dots that I'd swapped around and moved some mounts around. I know last week I think I showed that with that spur mount with the built-in magnifier mount.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like it. So I ordered another one that I'm going to put one of my 25 millimeter dots on, so I have that bigger window and can use that. And that is probably going to go on my PCC for competition next year, so I can have that higher ride height and the bigger window, as opposed to the blade I had on it. I still like the blade. It's a great optic. I like the prism sight, everything like that, but I will be faster with this setup than I am with the blade.
That's good. I haven't had a chance to play around with any of that stuff yet to see the difference in that ride height and how well it works. For me, I do know that, like with my PCC and my Huey, it seemed to be what I needed, but that doesn't mean there isn't something that'll work better. So at some point we'll get out and I'll run a couple of your rifles with that on it and see how I feel about it, whether or not I want to make that change. I had a lot of good reasoning behind it. So
yeah, it's I also found out after doing the math and things of that nature, because I put my EOTech on a riser, but on my what I call my night vision setup. My gun I use primarily for night vision, but it's my little 11.5 inch. And I found out that has been set up at 2.26 already. And I was like, oh, well, that would make sense because I had already kind of set it up specifically for running those types of scenarios. And like, that's why I shot that one faster. It's not because it shot smoother and everything like that. It was just set up in a way that worked better for me. But I know when we go through here, is that?
So it's interesting. It's interesting how you can discover something without realizing it. And like you said, it worked better for you. You didn't realize why until somebody explained it. You're like, oh, I started doing that for a different reason and had noticed the benefits, but didn't give it any second thought.
Yeah. It just was like, oh yeah, hey, this thing was working really well for me. And I shoot it. I really like this gun. And I primarily use it for night vision stuff or for any time I might need something shorter than a 16-inch. And, it works great and it's compact and it's easy to travel with and all of those things. But, I guess that's why I shot it better was because now I understand the reason because I started doing it to other guns.
Mm-hmm.
But no, and then going through that and just kind of pawing through my safe and starting to pack stuff around and move things as I get into hunting mode or, because that'll be starting in 2 weeks where we'll be out doing deer hunting and getting everything like that. So kind of getting all that stuff prepped and really just trying to get my life in order. And that kind of, in the business, we call that foreshadowing because that brings us right into tonight's topic and getting your shit together. But Joe, I know we've talked about it. And it's been conversations we've been having this week. And you've been sending me like, this is why I need to get a 3D printer. And it's some of it's for doing, like how are you going to put your mags? Where are you going to put all this? Because not everyone has just a random pile of gun parts in the middle of their living room.
Yeah, I've been looking at my mess of a wall, and that's the biggest thing that I have. Like my biggest mess right now is just all of the magazines, all of the PCC mags, those Glock mags that I have, all of my AR mags that are still just scattered everywhere from coming back from that class out in Colorado. It's a mess right now. And you've got the same shelf that I've got in the basement with all our ammo on it. I'm like, if I put, it's got the key lock on it. I'm like, if I had a printer, I could make a little thing. I could just hang all of them up there. So I got to sell my wife on, hey, if I had a 3D printer, I could make these plant things for you and then just use it for myself. But
yeah. I watched since I mentioned deer season. What are you using for deer this year? I am using this year. I'll be running my 6.5 Creedmoor AR that I built, and then my wife will be running my original 300 Blackout build, and they're 16-inch, and my daughter will be running the 9-inch 300 Blackout that she built. So fun for the whole family.
When's that? Next weekend that start or the weekend after?
2 weeks for West River.
2 weeks up.
Yep. But no, I have the shelf ammo. I have a couple of shelves like that, I think. It spills over into the garage. And it's a like a 30-gallon tote kind of over by a rack I have of random gun parts and things of that nature because for whatever reason I seem to collect parts like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got on my office desk, my work desk, work from home, where I do this from, there are numerous parts just laying on the, here's a pack of Cajun parts for my CZ, mag extensions. What else do I got down here? Just all kinds of stuff because it just clutters up, and I don't. If I have to clean it, then I can't go shoot or I can't go do other stuff, and it's like, meh. But yeah, I've got
don't even want to talk about my workbench over there.
My wife and I will have we got 2 free cupboards through Facebook Marketplace. They were kind of junk we put them in the basement in the laundry room, and then went to Menards and bought a countertop for it. And we have recently talked about pulling that out and actually buying, because it's about a perfect size. Is Menards sells an actual toolbox workbench that will, I think, fit perfectly there. And that would be so much handier, because then I could mount a reloader to it or a vise to it and have that extra stuff plus all the storage, and at some point put up some sort of pegboard wall so that I can hang tools or mags and stuff behind that. It's something that is, and she was all for it, which kind of surprised me because it wasn't a cheap purchase, but it helps to keep the clutter, and that's, I think, what she's looking at. Because if you looking, like I said, I've got my ammo bench, I've got the other bench or the other countertop that's full of belts, or holsters, just all kinds of random stuff that you an uncle or an aunt or cousin or someone was getting rid of stuff, and they're like, "Hey, you want this? I don't use it anymore." And it's like, sure, and then I don't use it either, but you never know. So yeah, organizing stuff, and it makes it, I mean, if you can get it organized, it's so much nicer because it's all in one spot. Like, I've got all my ammo stacked by weight, by caliber, but we buy bulk, so it's not like you're sitting on a ton of 20 round boxes or stuff like that. Even like my garage where I have all my shotgun ammo, that's all still sitting in cases. So
I would say
nice.
I'm in much the same shape because we buy bulk and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I do still have enough of my oddity hunting calibers and stuff like that where, like, I've got a case of 270 there. I've got a couple cases of 308, some 243, 264 Win Mag, 300 Weatherby Mag. And I have all these kind of odds and ends calibers that just are guns from the collection that I don't shoot a ton, but I have them, stuffed in the side, or I have a shelf of non-bulk ammo that's, sometimes it's like at Zombies, we won 200 rounds, Black Hills that doesn't really fit with anything else.
Yeah.
Or, oh, you're a gun guy, I got you this for your birthday. And it's like, oh, thanks, I really appreciate the ammo.
Or you go out and buy like the 20 round boxes to find out what the gun likes. So now you're sitting on all these half shot boxes of stuff. Someday I just plug all them into a magazine and you go dump it.
Yeah, I do have a large amount of steel case that we were going to start going through. Because of the Atrius.
Just to get rid of it.
Well, it's, if we're just going to burn ammo, that's the stuff to just burn.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But no, I know that, when we talk about this, one of the things that's been top of my mind is I need a new range bag, like in a bad way. Because I've been using like the same busted backpack range bag that isn't really a good range. What?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like a small backpack type ruck pack.
Yeah, that isn't even really a day pack. It's, oh, hey, what can you shove in here? Well, I can shove a handful of magazines in my stapler, and that's about it. So I'm actually purchasing a proper range bag now. Not proper branded. I think I know which one I'm going to be buying, and I'm picking that up so I can start to organize and put some of my more tools and things like that and have it be a little bit easier to go. But like Dusky here is talking about, in the comments, says, I've been working on improving cleaning up my range gear and equipment to make trips and training easier, faster, and more effective. But I need to work on my home organization. And boy, howdy, am I in the same thing.
Yeah.
Because Like 5-6 years ago, my wife went to Menards and bought one of those like cube chest things that fit underneath the kind of picture window in the room where we have our safes. And you pull the little cube, fabric drawers out. It's like, oh, you can use these. And it's, hey, great. So I've got one that's just random pistol mags, but it's all of the different pistol mags mixed in a box, and one of them's just rifle mags, and one is just AK mags, one's just SR-25 mags, one's M14 mags. And I go through and I have all these, and I'm like, oh, hey, yep, these all get shoved into pockets because for some reason I love magazines and think that you need to buy them in generational wealth. Because I remember the time when you couldn't buy a magazine. Like, I have mags that are marked for law enforcement and military only, because that was the only people who were allowed to buy like 15-round magazines. And that was a big deal. If you got a 30-round mag, like, you paid $70 for them. And yeah, Dr. Scary Guy is going 1994 to 2004. That was a
that was crazy. But even the panic stuff in
like 2012
through 2013, where you couldn't. I mean, the uptick or the upmark or markup
cheaper than dirt, selling PMags for $99.
Yeah. The markup.
I haven't forgotten that. I have not forgotten cheaper than dirt trying to rip off gun owners with $99 PMags. Speaking of that,
I was like a 10% or a 10-time markup, and but you got to be ready for that stuff. I mean, it's people cheap panic, and when they do stupid things. The only good thing about it is you can usually end up picking it up 6 months to a year later for pretty cheap from the used market.
Well, I went through my safe and was digging some stuff out on one of the shelves and found stuffed in a way back corner. I had shoved a couple 30-round magazines just in case they ever got banned to sell as new in packaging. And I cannot believe I have them stuffed in the back. And they were thermaled 30-round magazines. And they're in like a full-on, like box and everything like that. And Dusky's giving me recommendations in the chat for magazines. And I bought my wife the Savior Equipment, like, large range bag, and I do really like it. But as much as it pains me to say that, I think I'm going to go with the 511 tactical one, because it's just kind of the right size, and I like the way it's set up. But yeah, I know that going through and trying to get a grip on what you're doing for all of your setup and how you're going to organize it, where you're going to put this stuff, because you have ammo, you have magazines, you have parts, and when you're going through this, you have to find a spot to put all your parts. But the one thing you should always have a place for, and that is a VZ grip, because the unique features of VZ grips, they're a solid block of G10, and G10 is great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme, and color options and shorty versions are also available. 1911 grips with extreme customizability, staring swim, bomb style, safety catch, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures, 27 colors are available. And there's one coupon code that is good for 15% off all handgun and rifle grips. And that code is AR15POD15.
There's a lot of good for having your stuff organized. Like you were saying earlier, if your stuff's organized, especially if you have 223 or 556 along with 300 blackout, you don't want to be grabbing a blackout magazine and sending that through your AR-15 or through your 556, and just anything on that note. So especially if you have different guns that like different ammo, or your different stuff, it's just nice when you can come to, like, my my range bag all summer had just bulk ammo in it. I never even really had, unless I ran it dry, I would come home, fill the bags up, throw them back in there. So all I had to do was, like you said, grab my range bag because it had my stapler, had targets, had extra batteries, had everything I needed, so I could just go to the range without having to think about it. It does take organization on the back end when you do that, because you have to replenish anything you use. But it's also nice to know, I was like, hey, if this is low, I know exactly where to grab on the shelf to throw more ammo in here. And it makes stuff better. It makes it, if God forbid it is ever that shit hit the fan moment and you have to grab stuff. I mean, everybody talks about their bug out bags and stuff, but if you have to grab stuff, it's nice to know where it is rather than scrambling through your shit. Or when you're like, hey, I know I have that part, or I know I have this piece. You have an idea where it's at. Like I said, when I get put in that bench, I want to put organizational storage, little, the little plastic like screw containers on the one end by my safe, so that I can throw all those stupid little parts from
I have
holsters and mount, or the holster mounts, and
like what I would call a Milwaukee pack out box, or something like that. They were the one.
Like
I have the Menards one of those, and I use it for like all the screws and mil-spec triggers and springs and all of the random.
Yep.
Like I have one of those just dedicated to small AR parts.
Yeah, because it's nice, because you're like, I know I have them, but where are they? They're there. Yep. Just the random here, like this stuff. The random little thing for your holster and your mount, your tech mount stuff. Yeah. So it's all in one spot, and you got the screws there. You got everything there. It just makes it's nice. Yeah. No. Like I said, we're just sitting here in where we podcast from, and I got a ton of stuff. If that was put away,
shims for muzzle devices.
I have guide rods for pistols here on the other side of my monitor that I can't get to. So yeah, it's
I don't know how many of these I have.
Oh, every time you buy an optic. Yeah, I just start throwing them away.
Yeah.
Like, but that's also a good thing. Like when you're organizing, like I have my common optics, or like my PCC bag, the bag I was using for competition all year, had all the screws or extra screws. It had all the wrenches that I needed for that gun in there. They were organized in a pocket. So if something happened while I was, 8 hours from home, I had the stuff to fix it without having to start asking everybody in the squad, hey, you got this, or do you have that? And it's handy, extra muzzle chamber flags. Ran into that issue. We were at that first stage Garth and I shot at Area 3. The one girl's like, I don't have they had to skip her because she didn't have a range flag or a chamber flag. So they found her. She was going to use zip ties. I'm like, I have an extra chamber flag if you want to use that. She's like, yeah, that'll be a lot better than this. I'm like, yeah. And they're cheap. I mean, but it's nice having that stuff where knowing where it's at, because if you lose your stuff, you don't have to dig around for it. Because how many times I know I have this, but I can't find it. So you go buy the part, and then it shows up when you don't need it.
The amount of
little Loctite things I have laying around.
I totally did that. I didn't go buy the part, but I ran through, like, to the point of like picked it up, had it in my hand, and was shining a flashlight trying to find stuff. I'm like, I remember it was like right here. And I was like, oh yeah, it's because it's in my hand.
Yeah.
And but going through that stuff. So Joe, I do have a question for you. I know we talked a little bit about ammo storage, and we both buy bulk ammo. So I've done this before, and I kind of go both ways on it. I like right now, if you step into my garage, you're gonna see, a lot of my bulk ammo, because I buy, CCI Blazer, 124 grain 9mm. That's my jam. It's what I shoot. It's what everything I have sights in for. I like it. It runs great. like that. It has my full endorsement. And if you're listening, we could use an ammo sponsor. Ha
Yes, we could.
But, I run that, and then I have a ton of like PMC 55 grain, 5.56. And I just got, today I just got another 2,000 rounds in. Part of that was to replace what we shot up at class. And this was Federal American Eagle 55 grain, but those came in 2 500 round boxes. And I was like, ooh, this is neat. It's almost like a battle pack. But, so when I say that, yeah, I have those because they're shipped in and they have the labels on the side when you buy them by the case. Sometimes they'll just ship just the case to you. But do you use ammo cans or anything to set your ammo kind of to the side or seal it or?
No, it all comes sealed in bulk. So, and I've got all them little black bags from True Shot when I ordered some stuff from them, and they fit like 500 rounds perfect. So I'll dump into one of them when it's empty, but I keep everything sealed until I get to it. I did have an ammo can from the one case that I got from you with that's on stripper clips, but sometimes there was a while where I was dumping all my bulk into a plastic ammo can. It does help for storage. You can fit quite a bit in there, but then you also get a load of it. My problem was I would not check it before I would go to the range, and then because it's supposed to have 1,000 rounds or however much in it, and then I'd forget that I went to the range on Monday and shot half of it and go out on Thursday and not get a full session in because I ran out of ammo. So now I limit it so that I know basically I run out of ammo at the range during my range times and then come back, refill for the next one. Most of mine stays in. I don't have near as much as you do on hand. I leave it in the shipping cases, sealed up in the shipping cases until I have to break into that one. It helps, one, for just knowing how much you have on hand if that's something you worry about. It doesn't get intermixed with stuff, especially if you're running multiple
grains or
multiple grains of the same ammo. Because right now I'm sitting on 115 and 124 Angel Fire, so it helps to keep them from getting dumped in and mess, more consistent that way. Yeah, I don't really dump it, or like I said, unless it's this for the next range trip, it all stays in package. When I was buying the 1,000 round cases from Angel Fire, they actually send you 20, 50 round boxes, which was nice because then I could just grab 6 of them, take them to the range, throw it away there. But I found it easier now, and it's cheaper if I order 4 boxes of 250, it was cheaper than ordering 1 box of 500 or 1,000. So I don't break it down. I don't get into a whole lot of that extra stuff. It's just more stuff to move around or work with.
And I have broke it down in the past. I have a collection of ammo cans that, like, when I start busting out a bunch of 9mm on the Dillon here beside me, that'll go straight into an ammo can.
Yep.
Like, after it gets loaded, I just dump it into an ammo can, and then it sits off to the side. I have, just for organization's sake, gone through and been like, okay, well, I have this, so I'm going to put it in here. Or, like, if I'm going to teach a class, I will bring an ammo can with stuff I need for the class if I don't have it all in my backpack, because I have it kind of sectioned out with my little range pack, which is more of like it's more of an armorer's kit with a stapler than it is anything else.
Yeah.
And what?
Yep.
So, and that's part of me not using a proper range bag, is I would carry some, like, okay, up and throw this in. But also I know that, when we travel, like, I really thought about grabbing an ammo can just to haul everything down. But with the amount of ammunition we were going to be taking, I knew it would be easier to just grab a whole case.
Well, I did end up dumping 1,000 rounds into that one plastic ammo case because, again, I knew I was going to shoot it. They called for 800 rounds. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is going to come home almost empty. Whatever's left, I'll dump into one of the little bags, and that'll go to the range with me. My range setup, I've got that at a smaller bag that had 2 side pockets. That's where both pistols went. I could put all the ammo in the middle, along with the staple gun, pasters, all that stuff. And then the one side pocket had slots for all the pistol mags. Since I was running just my SIGs, I had it all there. Then down at Zombies, I ended up walking away with that larger range bag. And that's actually the one I used for all my PC stuff, especially with those 30, 60 round mags with the extensions. They fit in there about perfect. There's a couple side pockets I can throw them in once they're empty, or been if I've used them on a stage, not necessarily empty. So then I know not to grab them or to refill them before throwing them back in the middle, which works really well. That was kind of what I was doing when we were at class. When I had mags that were empty, I was throwing them into one pocket and grabbing from the other pocket. So I knew, hey, if I get downtime, grab from these to reload.
Yeah, that system worked way better than mine.
Yeah.
Because my system was keep stuffing mags into my belt and then putting empties into my dump pouch and then come back and dump those and then fill everything up again and then go back and jam mags. And then I realized I had a couple mags I didn't fire at all because I just started jamming more mags on top of them. Because why wouldn't I?
Makes sense.
As you go through and you're having that, because you're looking through, you have all the stuff on your belt, and it's like, hey, I have this, and this is where my mags go, so I'm just going to put them here, and I throw the rest of my dump pouch, and okay, this one's heavy, that means it's got ammo, and I can look at it and more or less do it without feeling, because I know where things go on my belt, much like the other thing on my belt, which is a Klecker Tactical Kydex holster. Are you in need of reliable Kydex holsters? Klecker Tactical is your one-stop shop. Using premium USA source material, Klecker Tactical will build you a holster in a variety of styles and colors, as well as light and laser options. Whether you're in law enforcement, a competitive shooter, or an everyday gun enthusiast, trust that Klecker Tactical provide every firearm owner has access to top-tier and personalized holsters, as well as quality custom products you can't find anywhere else. Use code AR15 podcast for 10% off at kleckertactical.com.
No, it's a good idea to have everything organized. You'll make your life a lot easier. And there's a million ways to do it. Garth's not here tonight. He had those mag hangers that he got through, from Amazon.
He had a sheet of steel on his wall.
Yeah.
Which, I want to do that on one of my walls, but it's for pans.
Yeah. The other thing, I'm at the point now where I need a new safe for organization, because right now it's playing Tetris and Jenga to figure out what gun I want. All right, this one I'm using all the time. It's going to stay right here. But then I'm like, oh, crap. Now I need 3. It's a mess. But problem with right now is I don't have a space to put in a second safe, and I really don't want to have a garage safe.
So I too need to add another safe, but I am also out of room.
It happens.
Unless I move one in here, but at that rate, I may as well just make a vault.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at, because I'm pretty sure if I ever move out of this house, I will be leaving one of my safes here. So I don't know if I can get that big one out.
That's where I'm lucky. I have my basement goes right through the garage, so I can wheel stuff in and out. But yeah, you've got that. What is that? 72?
I don't know. I'd have to look again.
Yeah, that would be a tough one to get out without.
I know that when I bought it, it was the biggest safe that Liberty made for the consumer market. So This makes great stuff as I start to look through and go, oh yeah, we had this and it was this sized. I'm like, no, I just know it was monstrous.
Yeah. I can't remember what size yours is, but it's a big one. It's like a mini vault. It might as well be a mini vault, bigger than some closets.
Oh, very much so. And as I scroll through here, and I bought it before Liberty was stupid. And everybody hated them. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's like I can stand up inside of mine.
That might be a topic for a later date. Are companies really that bad when it's self-preservation? Are they supposed to go out on their swords for their community? Going back to everybody throwing a fit about Glock, it's like, well, they're in the market of making money. They don't want to not be able to do that. Not saying Liberty was in that situation when they made their decisions, but
yeah, and there's a lot of things going into it. I know that we may have to talk about what's going on with companies because we have to find out who is the new king of the pores.
Yeah,
since Anderson has been bought out.
Everybody's going to tell you it's High Point because that's just what people think. But
yes, and
but there's been even a pour. That's a decent gun, and it's not like it's dirt cheap. It's competitively priced.
Yeah. And it's we all know who the king of the pores is now, and who it will continue to be. And I'll stand firm by this. It's going to be Palmetto State Armory.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones I thought of. Or does it just shift that whole tier? Like, you guys are no longer second tier. You all sucking around the bottom.
Yes. No, so no, but talking about those things and getting it organized, I know that again, our situation sometimes is a little bit different because we do a lot of traveling for competition. And like I have my 3-gun range bag. And that's made to fit I bought that very specifically. It is one of the most expensive gun cases I own, and it's a soft case. I think it cost as much as my Pelican hard case. And like that one I bought just because it will fit my 3-gun shotgun inside of it.
Yeah, like that's the one thing I've been on the lookout for is a good case that'll fit that long ass shotgun.
Yeah, Voodoo Tactical. Right. Voodoo Tactical makes one, and they have it where it fits my 14+1 Franke, and then my 3-gun shotgun. And then on the outside, it has a pistol pocket, and you can put all your mags in there and have everything lined up where you have pretty much everything you need. And it, like I love that gun case for going to 3-gun or doing that. I actually took that case with us to Colorado, and I had 3 rifles inside of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I finally picked up a 2-gun case just to carry 2 rifles in, mainly for that class. And then I used it again when I went and shot Steel Challenge, which was nice because it's they're separated. You can carry 2 of them around. This one's actually got the backpacks on it. It's also it's got a side part that's mollied onto it that I might end up taking off, though it's handy to store mags in especially when you're at a competition or at that like a class where you can just have a whole bunch of full mags. Is nice.
Yeah, and I've got a handful of hard cases, and I love hard cases for flying. Like,
yeah,
I have Pelican straight up just hard rifle cases that I fly with, and that, it's look at, it's like, oh yeah, that is 1000% just a rifle case. And I've got those. When I travel, like, to go somewhere, a lot of times I'll use a Pelican 1650 as my luggage. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I pack my clothes in, and then I just put a lock on it, and hey, look at this. This is not only my luggage, but it also happens to be my gun box. Like, I know I've done that when we went to Cleveland. I've done it flying a handful of different places. And that's just like, oh no, I just put it in, and it's my whole luggage is a gun box. But going to classes, going to the range trips, stuff like that, it doesn't always work to have that kind of boxier, bigger hard case.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I wouldn't want to be running around with a hard case 90% of the time. I'd rather have soft case that they're just easier to move around and store and haul. But my biggest thing is if anybody has a good practical magazine storage system, whether it's for loaded mags, other than just stacking them in a tote, because I hate digging through a tote. Looking for something. I have seen those, and I'm not going to spend the money on it. The Milwaukee little packs that somebody's got the insert for, so you can put like 6 of your mags or something in there. They look pretty cool, but I'm not going to spend that kind of money. But I need especially at home, because right now they're just laying on a shelf, and if you start moving one, then it's an avalanche of magazines. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere to put up on a wall like Garth did to hang his right now. That's what I was saying. If I had the 3D printer, a bamboo printer, I could probably find a way to make a decent hanging system for magazines.
You're talking something like this.
Yeah, that looks cool until you're in a hurry trying to get them out of there, because how much space is between them when it's full?
Well, actually, I have it sectioned off.
Yeah, I saw that now. So maybe but there again, but there you're talking about a hard case that's bulky. It takes up a lot more space than it needs to.
Well, and like Garth and I, a couple years ago, we bought that, got that deal on the mags for the 320s.
Yep.
And that was pick and pluck foam for 50 magazines. And I mean, this is a 90 meg case for pistols, which is cool. And
yeah,
I get it.
That makes great storage, especially if you're traveling with them. But I'm looking for something where I can be like, all right, I need 6 mags. I can just grab these 6 off the shelf. I can have a system like, hey, I know these on the left are loaded, on the right's unloaded. Instead of, oh, hey, I'm gonna open this box up, pull these out, put them in this bag. I don't know. Maybe I'm not explaining what I'm looking for the greatest, but it's like trying to store Tupperware and find a good way to do that, and I haven't found that yet in the kitchen either.
Well, I am looking through here because I've seen one before, and it almost looks like a magazine of magazines. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but that makes sense. Load it. What do you like? Load it from the top and grab them out, like that beer can holder that you can put in your fridge. But it was like,
yeah, it's the same concept, but it just pops AR mags out.
Yep, that might be interesting. I don't know. Okay, I'll find something someday that I like.
All right, this is it. This is what I was trying. So, this is It's an AR-15 magazine dispenser.
Yeah, the one that they just threw up in chat.
Oh, yeah, that is actually exactly it. I will share it on screen here.
That's
So
interesting. That would be handy.
I bet if an enterprising individual wanted to make something like that, I could figure out how to. And then I want to make one for handguns as well.
Well, see, that's the nice thing about the AR-15, and most of the magazines are all pretty much exactly the same. Even like your KCIs versus your Magpuls versus your GIs, they can all basically fit. You'd be able to use them all in that, as opposed to when you start playing with different pistol mags, because every pistol mag's different. You know, if they'd all got it, just been like, hey, let's all build the same receiver, same magazines, and we don't have to. Nope, they're all proprietary. But yeah, that's the only thing I really got going on, especially my organizational part of it, is just finding a good way to store mags. And then I've got way too many 30 round, 60 round Glock mags to try to figure out how to hang up and do that same concept with. So
I entirely understand, because I definitely have a few magazines, right? That's what we'll say.
just one way to put it.
And like I've gone through like, oh, hey, I got these in cheap bandoliers. I've got them in kits. I've got just a pile of them laying over here. Actually, I opened up a box a while ago. It was like, oh, hey, look at this. Here's 10 PMags that I bought and just put them over here for a rainy day that are new in the package still.
Yeah, I had that. I was doing that once. I was cleaning up the closet upstairs, and also I'm like, what's this box? I look at a UPS box. I look in there, and there's like 7 or 8 PMags still in package. I'm like, wonder when I bought those.
Yes. And I know that we do that, and our wives get tired of us ordering those. And, much like we get tired of replacing worn out targets every session. If you want to fix that, you can buy TCRT targets, the self-healing, long-lasting solution built for real shooters like you. TCRT targets are self-healing, modular, and tough. Built to take 400-plus rounds of 5.56 per square inch. They cut on ricochets, set up fast, and last far longer than any throwaway target. Upgrade to TCRT targets today. The target lets you train safer, longer, and more effective. Yes. And Joe, you got anything else to kind of add on before we beat organizing to death? Because it's pretty much just, guys, get your shit together.
Yeah, know what you have. No, it makes it better. No, I don't have anything new. I'm surprised at how much speed or race gun national stuff showing up on my Instagram. So I don't know if I broke that algorithm or what, but I got a lot of guys, different stages showing up there. So just kind of goes to prove, get out there, like and share the 2A and the shooting community stuff on the socials. Help spread everybody.
Ace VR has the race gun national stages on it already. So they've been doing an event where you can run the race gun nationals stages like once a day to build it up for this.
Nice.
And like they had handgun nationals and carry gun nationals, and they have all those, like, or not all the stages, but they have selections from the stages added in there. So you're shooting some of the stages at those matches in the Ace VR.
Gotta get one of them.
Yeah, I've been doing that, and I totally haven't been shooting the John Wick stages just like on repeat.
That's not what they're for. No, go
Well,
out, check out our
we got
website.
music, man.
Check out our website. Check us out on Instagram, Ar-15 Podcast 2.0, AR-15 Podcast on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. Like us, share us. Same with everybody else.
Spotify.
Anybody else you see. If you come across stuff he thinks pretty cool, tag us in it. I mean, that helps too.
Yeah. Join our Discord, guys. We actually do respond to stuff in there, or at least I do. I will see. Joe gets in there pretty much too. I know that we do talk about things and answer questions kind of on the spot. Generally, you'll get a response not too long after we posted something. Every now and then, you'll see us post something funny, or just things like, "There it is. That's the dumbest thing I've seen this week." But
never mind. Here it is. Just keeps getting dumber and dumber.
No. Oh, and things are getting dumber and dumber. I know that it's one of those things where it's almost an insult to be like, "Hey, may you live in interesting times," but we sure do, my friend. And with living in interesting times, guys, I say it every week and I can't say it enough. Go out and get training. Get medical training. Realize that as you go out, you will be your own first responder. Get training, get medical training. Carry a firearm. Like where you're at, go through the steps. Get your concealed carry permit. Keep you and yours safe. You are your own first responder. Expect to self-rescue. No one is coming to save you. And you folks, you stay safe and stay armed.